And that brings me to my last story here of the day. Gender-affirming closet at Missouri High School gets $10,000 in grant money so that LGBTQ students can wear clothes that reflect their gender identities without the parents knowing and their knowledge. I've spoken about this. You let me know how many times, folks, on this show. As a teacher myself, for those that are new to the Bald Brad Show, I teach high school students. I've taught in a high school where this type of stuff happens, not necessarily grants, but where things are being implemented without the parents' knowledge. And that you can't report it as a teacher because you could be fired because there's certain things in the handbook that you have to abide by. So let's just go over everything here. I want to give you all the details and really go in the nitty-gritty on this one. A gender-affirming closet is moving forward at a Missouri high school, and officials and advocates say it will allow LGBTQ students to wear clothes at school that reflect their gender identities, especially if they don't feel comfortable wearing such clothes at home. Columbia Public Schools Board of Education accepted and approved a $10,000 grant Monday to create the gender-affirming closet at Rockbridge High School, adding that the money will come from its Get Better project. The closet will include clothing for LGBTQ plus students who might not feel comfortable wearing gender-affirming clothes at home, the station said in a previous story about the closet. This is just another mechanism of these groomers going around the parents' back and offering, whether it's goods or services to students. And when I talk about services, I'm talking about actual psychologists, people trying to affirm their gender process, like basically walk them along the track of going from male to female or female to male, which isn't possible, by the way. But that's what they're trying to do with these kids and basically affirm that they are who they think they are, even though everybody knows at that age that your mind is still not fully developed. You can be making irrational decisions. Young people make a lot of irrational decisions. We've all been young before. I'm still young. We still all make stupid decisions. But you have these adults, part of the LGBTQ plus community, that are advocating for these things like sex changes, puberty blockers, hormone enhancers with these little kids. I've talked at length on the show about how literally in like New Jersey, they want to teach them all these things, like in cartoons in the classroom. Like they're already pushing for it in New Jersey to second graders, where they're literally showing them cartoons on how to masturbate and play with themselves. How is that okay? You have also these school districts and some of these school sites, like high schools, putting on these drag shows for these kids, which you have these guys dressed up as women, wearing these women clothing that basically looks like what strippers would wear and dance like strippers, getting tips from these students without their parents ever knowing, without sometimes even the school ever knowing. There's also been cases where the school said they didn't know. They basically lied to everybody because they needed to cover their own ass. And then it comes out after the investigation that everybody knew and they just lied to everybody. You can't trust anybody anymore, especially if you're talking about Democrats in the LGBTQ plus community. They're willing to lie to you. And that's exactly what's happening here because they want to go under the radar and basically affirm your child's gender without you ever knowing. So the high school's Gay Straight Alliance, we've heard this alliance before. They're basically all over the United States, it seems like, told the station it hopes the closet will create a more welcoming environment for the LGBTQ plus students and perhaps lead to the district's 3 other high schools to create similar closets. The group planned to spend $8,000 on clothing, $1,000 on closet furnishing, $500 for makeup, and $500 for inventory management. The school board previously tabled the grant application so students and district administrators could have more time to perfect the application. So it wasn't about, let's talk about this. Let's bring this up to parents. Let's see if this is what the parents want. Can we get the community involved? No. It's the school board that knows what's best for your student. We see this all the time, right? That's why they're putting all this stuff in place. That's why they have critical race theory in the classroom. They know what's best for your student. They know what's best for them. They want to affirm their gender without you ever even knowing about it. That's why when you walk in, all of a sudden Bryce is wearing freaking clothes and now he's going by Jessica and you're going, what the hell? Or Bryce is acting weird at home. You don't know why, but he's going to school wearing a skirt and his name is now Jessica at school. The teacher's calling him Jessica. The school psychologist is affirming it. The counseling office is affirming it. Everybody's affirming it. They're walking through the path of changing and transitioning from a boy to a girl, and you have no idea what's taking place. And then when your kid commits suicide and he leaves a note going, I was all over the place. You're going, I never saw this. This is weird. Why were you acting weird? Why weren't you talking to me? And then you realize, the school and everybody else was just affirming this kid and making sure that they're grooming them for transitioning. That's what's taking place. And they can't fathom why we have freaking depression all over the place. It's because everything is considered normal. Everything is considered okay nowadays. When kids are struggling in our school system left and right, And rather than helping them in appropriate ways and not affirming them, Jordan B. Peterson has talked at length about this, that your job isn't to affirm. It is not to affirm. You need to help, you need to guide them and make sure they're on the right track and figure out a problem give a solution to something they're going through. You don't affirm it. You don't sit there and help them and guide them through it. If they want to transition after 18, look, that's their thing, but you need to leave it up to the parents to make that decision, not the school board, not the teacher, not the counselor, not the school psychologist. You need to leave it up to the parents and have them involved 100% on what is taking place in the school. And you're hearing this as a teacher. The parents need to be involved, and it's not happening, and it's so frustrating. It is so frustrating. So the Gay Straight Alliance members said previously they were concerned about parental pushback on the closet, which is why they don't want any of that involved, right? Because they know that pushback is going to come because they know that parents don't want this. So what do? Go around you guys. The gender-affirming closet concept is not exclusive to Rockbridge High School. Similar projects have been springing up at schools around the country, which I just said. The drag shows have been springing up everywhere. These gender-affirming projects have been springing up everywhere. There are clubs that have been springing up that literally do go under the radar of the administration. They're actually not on the rolls, meaning they haven't registered the club. Nobody knows about it. So if the school were to be audited or an investigation were to be had, there's actually no record of the club taking place. The parents don't know about it. The administration doesn't know about it. Only the teacher that's there, as well as the kids that are part of this project or this club that they're going to, they're the only ones that know about it. A Daily Caller video about the issue includes a clip of an apparent California teacher saying the goal of the transition closet is for our students to wear the clothes that their parents approve of, come to school, and then swap out into the clothes that they fit who they truly are. I mean, folks, does that not piss you off? Can you imagine if somebody did that behind your back with your child? I mean, I would be livid. I'd be down that school so fast, it'd be ridiculous. So the teacher adds that I use the idea that this is like the Superman changing in a phone booth. But the idea actually goes a lot further than that, because Superman isn't Clark Kent. Clark Kent is actually the disguise. And when Clark Kent goes into the phone booth, he transforms into Superman, who's really just who he truly is, Kal-El. And so this gives our trans students the opportunity to be the superheroes that we know they are. This is the thinking coming from these people, folks. These are the people that you're putting in charge of your children. I teach. I'm not thinking about all these things. I teach statistics and finance. That's all I want to teach. I don't want to get into this whole gender affirming thing and trans and all this stuff. I just want to teach math. I just want the kids to do well. I want everybody to get A's and B's or whatever grade that they deserve. I just want them to try hard. I just want to do my job and be left alone and treat everybody with as much respect as I possibly freaking can, regardless if they give it to me back or not. I just want to do my job. But you have all this stuff taking place in the school system, and the left have indoctrinated it so much where it makes you wonder if you even want to be a teacher anymore. It's not even about the kids. It's not even about always the administration. It's about all this stuff taking place with the progressive left completely dismantling our education system from the ground up. And they've been doing it for so long that now we got people like that professor that called Josh Hawley, a senator, during a judiciary committee the other day. We did a video on it, calling him a transphobic because he merely said that a woman is the only gender that can give birth. But she seems to think men can give birth, non-binary people, whatever the hell that means. All this stuff is taking place, and it's absolutely ridiculous. And we're going to have a whole generation of young kids growing up thinking that they're trans. We've seen the numbers go. I mean, before it used to be in the single digits. Now it's upwards of like 20+%, and it's just increasing year after year on the amount of people that think that they're trans. And you get this stuff from biology class too. You have these biology teachers teaching that men can give birth. That's what they are teaching your kids. And I shout this stuff to the sky, not as if it's fake. I'm not one of those people going, oh, well, there's racist institutions out there. There's institutional racism. And then you go, well, who's the racist within those institutions? Well, I don't know, but there's racist institutions out there. And I'm going, there are schools out there that are literally teaching these things. There's actual teachers. It's your history teachers, your biology teachers predominantly, and sometimes even your chemistry teachers and so forth. I have a buddy, and if he's listening to this, he knows about this. When he was within schools, Long Beach State, going through his, to get his license, basically become a teacher, going through his credentialing program, they were literally talking about incorporating LGBTQ aspects within chemistry. And he raised his hand. He's like, well, how do I do that? That has nothing to do with what we're talking about here. We're talking about chemicals, we're talking about elements, we're talking about those types of things. And you want me to try to incorporate this gay LGBTQ agenda within my classroom. This was like 6 or 7 years ago, maybe even longer at that point. It might have been 8. Hell, let me know in the comments. But this is the stuff that's been going on here. And they want this to seep into the mathematics field, the STEM field as well. They've already tried the sciences. What they're trying to do within mathematics is say that 2 plus 2 equals 5. And if 2 plus 2 doesn't equal 5, then what you have to do is offer different answers to what it could be. Now, we all know 2 plus 2 equals 4, and I'm keeping it this basic because this is where they're going with this, is that if you don't allow a student to get the wrong answer, you're deemed racist now as a math teacher. Because what they're finding is the minority students are getting the answers wrong because predominantly they're not learning, they're not studying. There's many other aspects that could be taking place in the classroom at home for that reason. But now you're a racist because you're not allowing them to get the answer wrong. So now there are no right answers in mathematics. Furthermore, in the word questions, the word problems that we have to arise, they want more LGBTQ plus questions being thrown in there. Meaning using different pronouns, talking about trans kids, talking about 2 parents, like 2 mothers, having a daughter, and injecting that within our word problems as well. So now it's seeping into the STEM fields. Once you lose the STEMs, it's over. It's completely over. You've lost the education system. That is my opinion on that. I will go further at a later date, but we're running here a little late here on the Bald Brad Show. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. I really do support your all the support you guys do show me on this channel. We are growing from the grassroots, and you want to be one of those that are here at the beginning. I do know most of your names in the comments because you consistently leave me comments down below. I love them. They make me laugh. Who was it? It was a MSND or MSDN. Forgive me that the letters get switched up, but you even left a comment that had me cracking up in terms of me singing, and you thought it was a good first try. I'm not going to be singing again, but it's stuff like that. The witty humor, I really do appreciate. You guys crack me up. With that being said, I will see you later here on the Bald Brad Show. I hope you enjoyed that clip from the Bald Brad Show. If you did, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on all our future content.